when we speak, our minds hear us and our minds carry an authority. And when you are a Christian, then there is a special power that God has given you as well. So when you speak, creation hears, demons hear, the devil hears, and they can run with the instruction that you have spoken. Hello and welcome to On Your Lane. This is the best place for ambitious people who are taking charge of their lives, making that impact, making that money, and living fulfilling lives. If that's you, I'm excited to connect with you and welcome once again. Today we're going to talk about the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue, the power of our speech. This is something that has been really remarkable for me. I've seen tremendous change and impact from it, especially in the past year. I never really understood the impact of what I say, because sometimes, you're joking. So I'm like, okay, some things are jokes and not to be taken seriously. But as I started understanding the power of me as a person, the way God made me with the authority that I have in the spirit, the authority that I have in the physical, and then the fact that what I say usually happens. Do you know that what you say usually happens? You should notice the things that you say, not just randomly say, but there are things that you say that have conviction to back it up. They can be jokes. They can be things like, I will always struggle this way. We never get promoted. Some of us will never get promoted because we never do this and that. There are things that we say randomly and we say them with conviction. Sometimes we say them jokingly, but they have conviction. Those things come to pass. And for me, that has been something that I have played around with in my head for a while, because I was like, okay, does this mean that I can't joke about things? Does this mean that I can only speak serious things? I shouldn't say anything in a light manner, When you understand, I think for me, I had to go back to Genesis when God said, let us make man in our image. Let us make them like us. For me, that was a powerful statement. I had heard it so many times, but I never really understood the impact of it till when I started seeing, well, there are so many things that I don't receive because I take lightly what God has said in his word. For example, in Proverbs 18 verse 21, which is what I'm using really to share on this topic right now, it says, life and death is in your tongue, and you shall eat the fruit of what comes out of your mouth. And for me, that's like, whoa, okay. But that's the standard God has put. When he made humans, the Bible said he made us a little lower than himself. A little lower than himself, because he couldn't let us be God like him. So when he made us in his image, he gave us everything: the power to create, the power to reason, the power to decide, the willpower. So many powers that he gave humans that he didn't give animals. And when he gave us that, that came with responsibility. And you'll find that most successful people, when they're sharing their tips on how to be successful, they'll say, watch what you say to yourself, even in your head, even watch it. Why? Because there is some repercussions that comes with that. There are some results you'll see in your life because of the things you say. And you have to guard your mouth. And that's why the Bible says life and death is in the power of your tongue. So you have to watch what you say about you. For me, it gets really deep, and I have to ask, why do I say the things I say about me? Why do I sound confident about the negative things about me? Why am I confident about the things that I don't want to see? And I declare them over and over. You see, I have never seen them not come to pass. I used to say I would never get promoted, and these people just favor themselves, and I would see that happen. And for me, some things like I never cook. I would never cook for a man. I never cook at all. Those are things I would say. And I never learned how to cook for a long time, till when I started changing and saying, wait, I actually do love cooking. But because of my environment, the way I saw women who were serving their men by cooking for them, I saw them taken for granted, abused. I told myself, never. So I would speak things like that. I never cook. I never listen to anybody. I am my own boss. And then I had issues with rebellion. I would never follow. And if you are going to be a leader of any kind, you have to learn to follow. Because you can't just start leading. You have to be trained. You have to learn to follow somebody else. You have to take instruction. And as you learn from that, you become a better leader yourself. And so I had rebellious traits within me. But those are things I kept telling myself over and over. And I taught my friends to say the same thing about me. So it's not like I told them like, okay, guys, say this about me. But if I say something about me long enough, everyone around me will say that with me too. So my friends always say, she never cooks. She can't be domesticated. She can't listen to anybody. She's super independent. She's not focused. She can't be held down. She loves freedom. She's a free spirit. I used to say all these things, but these are the very things that were contradicting what I wanted to achieve. It's not like there's anything wrong with being a free-spirited person, but for me that was a rebellious thing. I didn't want to listen to my boss. I didn't want to be tied down to deadlines. I didn't want to be tied down to rules. And so I would say, I'm free-spirited. I never listen. I don't care. I do whatever I want. And I would say that over and over. And that's what I saw in my life. And I struggled when I started doing my business because I needed to lead people. I needed to be able to set deadlines. I needed to be able to set rules. I couldn't just be random. When I got married, I wanted to serve my husband, but I didn't know how to. Why? Because I had told myself these things over and over. And so when I started asking myself, why do I speak to me like this? Then I started seeing the pain when I was growing up, when I saw people being abused because of serving their husbands. And I took that upon myself to say never. And I spoke it over and over in my childhood, in my adolescence. I was that kind of girl who was 13 and saying, I'll never cook for a man ever. And I would just go on with it. When I was starting my new job, I was like, I need freedom. I can't be tied down in this job. I can't follow. I hate this. I don't like rules. I would always try to break every rule. And those things are the very things that backfired when I started my business. I needed to have structure, and I had spoken against me having structure in a long time. So I'm giving you this example so that you can understand that sometimes it's jokes. We say it as jokes, but when we speak, our minds hear us and our minds carry an authority. And when you are a Christian, then there is a special power that God has given you as well. So when you speak, creation hears, demons hear, the devil hears, and they can run with the instruction that you have spoken. God said, let there be light. He didn't say, oh, so dark. Oh, really dark. No, he didn't talk about the darkness. He didn't talk about what he didn't want to see. He spoke what he wanted to see. And he was setting a standard for us as people, that you have power. So be careful what you see. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. What do you speak? For me, what happened then, after I started seeing that, okay, I need to change my speech, it sounded really crazy to my friends that I stopped joking about so many things. I stopped joking about things that I didn't want to see in my life. I didn't want to see poverty. I didn't want to see stagnation. I didn't want to see lack of growth. So I was not going to joke about those things. I just avoided the topics. And I felt like, why do I feel like my jokes have to be things that don't want to see? Why can't I joke about me being wealthy? Why can't I joke about my success? Why should I always joke about things that are negative? Okay, so I cut those things out. And I'll tell you that the past 2 years have been tremendous for my growth, tremendous for my business. I used to speak small over my business. I have this little thing. This is what I do. I started changing that. I started carrying myself with the confidence of the CEO that I am and the CEO that I foresee myself coming. And my business started being taken seriously because I was taking it seriously. Life and death was in the power of my tongue. It is in the power of your tongue too. And so you have to really audit what you say. And you have to really condition yourself because habits are hard to break. You have spent a lot of time maybe speaking negatively. You have been used to a certain type of language. You're like, maybe in our family we joke about this, about marriages ending. We joke about cheating on each other. Those are things we joke about a lot in this world. Looking back, I think even when I was working, people were joking a lot about cheating, about all this. And you'd wonder why they would cheat eventually. You were talking about it. It was being normalized to you. And it stops having this shock effect. So it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That was a lot of words to say. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Right? So what you say, your words, not only describe your reality, they determine your reality. So you have to decide, is it worth it? The jokes, are they worth it? Are you sure you want to sabotage yourself by how you speak? How about you change? And this is a big deal. You can start changing by what you hear, what you see, change your shows, change who you hang around with, change what you say about other people. Because when you are okay slandering others, you'll be okay slandering yourself. So stop it. Speak positive, speak life, speak the things you want to see. And if you can't say it with conviction, be quiet then. Be quiet. The Bible even says that fools seem wise when they are quiet. So you win by being quiet if you have nothing good to say. Ultimately, I want to encourage you to use your words for your own good. for the good of those around you. Use your own words to elevate yourself. When you repeat something long enough, you start to believe it and it becomes your reality. And that's why it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So why won't you speak life? Speak that I'm a reader, I'm a strong woman, I am a strong man, I am focused, I am very diligent, I am wealthy, I am organized. Speak things that you want to see till you believe them. Because when you speak them long enough, you'll start to follow through and then you start to believe them and they become a reality for you. All right, I hope this was helpful for you. It is a practical thing, so let me know what you think about it. In the description box, you'll find details on how to get to me on Instagram, on Facebook, via email. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're a person who has ambition and you just want to win at life, you may not know how, maybe you have a picture of it, but you want to cultivate intentionally a life of meaning, significance, a life of worth and impact, then I want to work with you in my coaching program called The Circle of Greatness. It's an amazing program. Details will be in the description box, but we will move from where you are right now to where you want to be. There's a lot of work we need to do for you to live the life that you desire. And it's possible, but it's going to need you to do work to follow it through. And I want to take you through that journey. I have amazing experiences of me going through that journey, which I will share with you through that process. So get in touch and join my Circle of Greatness program. I can't wait to talk to you. New video every Tuesday. So let your friends, family, everybody know so we can grow this community and we can continue to elevate and achieve great things, not only for us, but for those around us and for God's glory. I can't wait to see you next week. All right? See you soon. Bye-bye.